Hello and welcome to Faith in Business. This is the second hour of our show, Wake Up Our Faith, where we talk about living out your faith where you spend the majority of your time, and that is between Sundays. For most people, that is in business. Matt Ham, Kevin Adams, and we are the co-founders of Uprint, a faith and personal development organization right here in Wilmington, North Carolina, in the Port City. Shows broadcast live every Wednesday from 1 to 3. Many thanks to Nick Craig in studio today for producing every week, actually. Wilmington's Big Talker, 106.7 FM, WFBT, our radio partner. Love what they're doing here. We're part of the weekend programming from 12 to 2 on Sunday. Now that you know how you can tune in and check us out, we want to thank you. Thanks to our corporate partners for making this show possible. One of those being Physical Therapy Services of Wilmington. That's on the web, ptservicesofwilmington.com. Serving southeastern North Carolina since 1983, family owned and operated. Offices at 17th Street and at Porter's Neck. Kevin, I saw where they're actually up for Encore Magazine's Best in the Biz for physical therapy services.
That's great.
So encourage our listeners to go to Encore Magazine, Encore Pub, I believe, and vote for Physical Therapy Services of Wilmington. If you need their services, give them a call, 910-763-8286. Mm-hmm. So, Kevin, we wanted to take the first segment today and talk a little bit about what happened this past weekend, and that is the Hope Run. Mm-hmm. We had Emily Parker on. And, we actually didn't get a great chance to talk about it, man, but just what a fantastic event. We love what they're doing at Journey to Heal Ministries.
Yes.
And it's just so needed. So I just wanted to use this kind of segment as an opportunity to let our listeners know just about like the heart of the Life Center and the heart of Uprint and how we want to collaborate, connect with, and support these ministries here in Wilmington for this picture of unity in the body for the kingdom.
Yeah, we do. Well, I think when you look outside of the Sunday box, and I'm not saying that cynically. I'm saying you kind of have to go back to ground zero and start with people. And so when you do that, you start seeing this amazing thing. And with Emily and that whole gang. And their heart's really driven to this through pain and experience. But at the same time, God has removed their vulnerabilities through that so that they can help others. And that's a passion, so it comes from hunger. So when we see that, what we say is, wow, how can we support that? So part of what we do is removing the obstacles to that, to ministry work that's between Sundays.
Yeah.
Not just about pulpit stuff or small group, that kind of stuff. It's more about what's going on Monday and Tuesday in life at Ignite in people's homes. The Life Center is we could talk for hours about it, but it's a thing that is set up to help remove obstacles that people who want to live this out, these things pop up, physical, tangible, emotional, whatever they are. So we want to get in there and remove that so these people can thrive and their ministries can thrive because the world needs it.
Yeah, it was so cool being out there at the race event. I set up a little booth, which by the way, it was just awesome to like have our booth. It was like it was like our booth. We had a little banner. Yeah. It's like Uprint. And it was like, man, it's like this thing that was birthed out of a coffee shop and kind of this idea. We always talk about an idea comes before a thing. It's like this idea of this organization, this business that we're actually now living out. Mm-hmm. It was like it was there. It was live. It was tangible. And it was just so cool to be a part of that and to see all of these people, gathering for that run. And it was interesting because my boys, Matthew, Grayson, and Wyatt, they wanted to run the race. and so, being their dad, knowing that 3 miles for a 7-8-year-old, that's a good haul. Yeah. They don't know that. They think it's running to the mailbox, So go. We come out of the gate.
Full speed.
They're gone, And here I am, out of shape, winded, trying to just follow up behind them. Mm-hmm. But it was awesome because just seeing all of the people run, the spirit there was just so alive. And, I actually, Emily Parker came up to me beforehand and she said, "Hey, Matt, would you mind wearing this?" And she held up a tutu. And so, me, there's not a lot of shame. So I put a tutu on, and the boys kept asking me, "Hey, Dad, what is this about? Why are you wearing a tutu?" And here I am.
Good question.
Yeah, it's a big question to explain to a 7-8-year-old.
Anything for Emily, then. Right?
That's right. Amen to that. Amen to that. But I love just being out in the community and seeing other ministries and what they're doing and the actual impact that it's having. And that's something I think we forget too often.
Yeah.
Is the impact that it's having. Yeah,
well, every person is a temple. And, even Jesus, I think he really paved the way when he said, tear this temple down in 3 days, I'll rebuild it. And, the Pharisees didn't know what he was talking about, but he says he was talking about himself. Well, if he's our leader, he's our king, he's the forerunner, he is what we're supposed to model our lives after. He's the temple, and so are we, and the Scripture's clear about that. So when you look at it that way, you see people who have created these things just out of passion, knowing God's the how, and they start to just go because they can't not do it. That's a big deal, and we have to pay close attention. And it's funny because it's usually not a logical thing, and they don't have a clue how it's going to happen. They just know he's going to do it. The joy of the Lord is my strength, and that's enough. So we are jumping in whatever way we can. Right now it's through support and broadcasting and trying to just get the word out. But in other ways we do a lot of pro bono mentoring and counseling, marriage counseling, that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of people that have hardships and can't take care of it. Well, on the other hand, we've got a lot of neat little side things going on, Passion Provision, where we're trying to begin to help individuals and families who have a dream and have some things in the way. It can be a small thing, or it could just be some groceries. But that's building and going, and eventually we'll have a campus and all that kind of stuff. Right now, we're just a group of people.
Yeah, it's awesome just to see that move, and just encouraging for me to just know that there is a move, there is something that's going on here in the city,
sure,
that we get to participate in. And so I just wanted to throw it out there, just to first of all, just to let folks know about Journey to Heal again.
Yes.
What they're doing. I believe it's journeytohealministries.org.
Yeah.
They're specifically about sexual abuse awareness and prevention. And would love you go back a couple episodes on the podcast to listen to Emily Parker. Go back even a few more to listen to Crystal Sutherland. You guys can check that out. But I wanted to say secondarily, Kevin, if somebody listening is part of a nonprofit, or if they have someone that's doing some cool stuff that we need to know about, I just wanted to encourage folks to reach out to us.
Sure.
Because we want to foster these things, and we want to be a part of the move in the city and offer what we have, which is this radio program and our resources, mentoring and the like.
Right.
So anyway, I just wanted to shoot that out there.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're in some type of a business community, whether you're nonprofit and ministerial, or it's more trading services, if your heart belongs to him and you want to live that out in your business, we want to support that. And so jump on in, and even if it's just jumping into the community for daily encouragement.
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of trade with each other and help each other, support one another.
Yeah, I want to let folks know before we go to break here. I mean, part of what Kevin's saying is, so we've created the Portable Faith Community, which is a way for people to get plugged in to our ministry, to our nonprofit, as far as contributing. But then we turn around and we give folks fantastic content every morning. And then that's expanding, it's growing, it's super cool. So I just want to let folks know, if you want to get plugged into that as a way to help foster these types of organizations and the work that we're doing, you can do that by texting the word Uprint, one word, YOUPRINT, to the number 33222. So just grab your text, open it up, 33222, text Uprint, and that'll get a conversation started. We'll let you know how you can get plugged in. That's a new feature for us. Just want to make sure our listeners know that's a way to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so what do we got here?
We are getting ready to go to break.
Okay.
And then afterward, we're going to be joined by Chad Huneycutt of the Huneycutt Group, one of our partners, to kind of give a expert's corner on the insurance market. So, new little feature of the show today. So, guys, thank you for tuning in and listening. This is Faith in Business, second hour of Wake Up Our Faith. Matt Ham and Kevin Adams back for more right after this. Hello and welcome back to Faith in Business. This is the second hour of our show, Wake Up Our Faith, where we talk about living out your faith between Sundays, where you spend the most of your time. For most, that's in business. This is practical ideas and application on how we can kind of infuse faith into our business life. Matt Ham, Kevin Adams, we're the co-founders of Uprint. Appreciate you tuning on today and tuning in. Our show is made possible by our corporate partners. These are folks that are in the community. They're friends of ours, most of them. We believe in what they do. We actively are sending folks to their businesses as needed, and it's really about a network of people for you, our listeners and viewers, kind of vetting and trusted folks who can do what it is that you need, whether it's your mortgage business, whether it's your insurance, whether it's home buying, and all the stuff that we go through life needing. And one of those is actually on the line with us. As an industry expert kind of corner. Kevin, this is a new thing that you've been suggesting for a while, and we're glad to welcome Chad Adams. Chad Adams. That is so funny that I did that, because that is one of those Freudian slips.
Chad Huneycutt.
Chad Huneycutt, thank you.
Even
Chad,
I know.
Chad slapped me. What's up, dude?
Oh, man, I am doing great. Hope you guys are.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. Chad Huneycutt is with the Huneycutt Group, and you're our exclusive insurance partner, man. So tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself and kind of catch us up here on the insurance industry in Wilmington.
Oh, you got it, man. Thanks again for the opportunity and having me on the show, and it's an honor to be with you. I tell you what, I've been in the insurance business for a long time. I got started back in 2005. And been here operating solely in the Wilmington market since 2010. So we've insured thousands of coastal homes and boats and automobiles and so forth. And then, about 7.5 months ago, we had a friend, Hurricane Florence, visit us. And that's hard to believe it's been 7.5 months, but it's been some time. But that certainly shook things up around here. And so we've certainly stayed very busy along with the real estate business. We kind of shut down that fourth quarter of last year, but we have been rocking and rolling as far as trying to get everybody's wanting to review the insurances and make sure that they understand policies. And probably our biggest learning experience, and it's a lot of our customers' biggest their learning experience was, if you live in this area, you are in a flood zone. We hear people all the time talk about, I'm not in a flood zone, I don't need flood insurance. You're in a flood zone. It may not be a high probability zone, and your mortgage company may not require you to carry it, but you're in a flood zone, and that is coverage that we saw hundreds of people that didn't have the coverage for flood insurance, and their homes were flooded, some a foot of water, some 6 feet of water. And so that's been a real learning experience, and we've really been trying to work with our communities around the Wilmington area to just update them on the importance of looking into it.
And Chad, that's a great point, and having been in insurance, you know that flood insurance is that conversation that nobody wants to have until they wish they had it.
That's right. Well, when you need to have it, it's probably too late.
Yep. That's kind of like that's kind of like what we do, Kevin. It's like when you need to have the conversation, it's too late.
Should have been here yesterday.
Get on the front end. So Chad, let folks know if you have any other updates. Feel free to share those, man. But we want to make sure that folks know kind of how they can get connected with you and what you can kind of bring to the table as in your business.
Sure thing. Well, the best way to learn a little bit about us is our website, which is huneycuttgroup.com. Huneycutt spelled a little bit different. It's HUNEYCUTT, and then the word group.com. A lot of information out there about the the coverages that we provide. Our office, we have 2 offices in Wilmington. One is located in Illumina Station, and then we have a second location in the Remax Real Estate Building at 1650 Military Cutoff. So great ways to learn about us. We take a consultative approach. So we're an independent agent, so we represent probably 30 to 35 different companies. And so one of the things that everybody that's in the insurance business knows, there's ebbs and flows to certain appetites that certain insurance carriers have. Sometimes they want to be really aggressive with their rates. Sometimes they want to be, really increase their rates. And so what we're able to do is work with multiple carriers to help make sure that you find that right spot. And if it's carriers take, massive increases, which we see that a lot, we have the opportunity to move you around to different companies to make sure that you're always paying a rate that's industry competitive.
Hey, Chad, it's Kevin.
Yes.
I think one of the things we want to accomplish with this, and this is our first go at it, just kind of having our friends on here who are partners. First of all, we look at you as just you're a local guy, you're a real guy. This is a real business, and you're doing great things for people. Everybody needs different services. So I think what I hear you saying, and part of what we want to do is just be able to promote and let people know that, this isn't a box and a machine. This is a real guy, and he really cares and puts his heart into his business. And what I hear you saying is this is personal, and you really take it that way, and you look at everything, and that's maybe the difference. But if you want, man, speak to that a little bit of what sets you apart. I mean, you kind of did, but do it again, and just from Chad's point of view.
Well, I certainly think that technology has been awesome for our world, and there's multiple enhancements that we've been able to experience and enjoy due to technology. But one of the things from a lot of the service businesses, like the insurance piece, is we've lost a lot of that face-to-face true relationship experiences. And I can tell you for a fact, I sat down with many of my clients after the hurricanes, and I watched them with tears in their eyes as they told their story about what they went through, what those few nights were like. And we would hug, or we would cry together, or we would share our experiences, and it was a true relationship that we had. And so that they felt a sense of comfort knowing that we were going to go to bat with them.
Yeah.
We were in this fight with them. We know that it's nothing that anyone wants to go through, but that they've got people around them that want to support and help them get through something as bad as what Florence was for a particular community. We do a lot of face-to-face meetings with our customers. We still go out, believe it or not, we still go out to homes and visit and sit down with you at your kitchen table and help you take, kind of an itemized report of your home, what's in it, what's around it, what are some things we need to be concerned about. And so we really want, we're not looking for policies, we're not looking for just the customer counts. We really are truly looking for relationships that we can be a part of our agency for many years to come.
Yeah, that's it. For me, that's what I'm looking for. I'm just just a guy here, and somebody that knows what they're doing, who's got a heart, who's an expert. I mean, this is excellence.
Yeah.
And that's what we promote,
Sure.
and especially those who are, honoring the big chief.
Sure.
So
man.
you do that.
Absolutely.
You do it well, and you've got a quiet reserve about you too, which I think is super cool. But last thing, and again, we're kind of jumping in, and we want to give you that opportunity every so often to just come on and talk a little bit. If you and Matt, you can wrap it up, but of course, Chad, you're always welcome to come on as a guest for the hour. But we just want people to know we stand behind Chad, Huneycutt Group Insurance, and this is me. You jump in any minute, Matt. But Chad, I want to make sure you have the opportunity. If there's anything, obviously the contact information, everything. But if there's anything, any advice or just a nugget, just something to offer the audience until next time. Anything?
Sure.
Current.
Well, I was going to mention, because we have these conversations a lot after the storm, and we're always trying to have them year round. But it's still very important that customers, especially from their homeowners policies, that they understand how their deductibles work. Because a lot of people, especially in coastal Carolinas, you may have multiple deductibles inside of your homeowner's policy. And when we have a named storm, Hurricane Florence roll through, it's probably going to activate your highest deductible. And so, if you've got a $300,000 home and you've got a 2% hurricane deductible, that's a $6,000 deductible. And you need to go ahead and decide today, while it's beautiful May day, if this is the deductible that you're comfortable with, because when the storm's rolling in, it's probably too late to make those changes.
Yeah. Chad, man, this has been fantastic. Thanks so much for jumping on. It's just great, man. Thank you for diving in.
You're welcome. Thank you both.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for being a part of this. Guys, this is Chad Huneycutt of the Huneycutt Group. He is our exclusive insurance partner, family-owned for 10 years. You heard it right from him. Just cares about people, cares about relationships. That's why we support them. We want to encourage you to check them out. Give them a call, 910-338-1773. Get a competitive quote on your insurance today, and tell him that Matt and Kevin sent you. Thank you guys for tuning in here. We appreciate you. We'll be back for more right after this. Hello and welcome back to Faith in Business. This second hour show, Wake Up Our Faith. Hope you are listening to our podcast. That's Wake Up Our Faith in Business, found on iTunes and Spotify under Faith in Business. We combine interviews with entrepreneurs as well as practical advice and wisdom so that you can effectively live out your faith where you spend the majority of your times, and that is between Sundays in business. Matt Ham, Kevin Adams, thanks so much to Chad Huneycutt for jumping on, one of our corporate partners, for our Expert Corner. Our corporate partners make this show possible, one of those being our good friend Chris Riley and the team at Fountain Financial Associates. They are in the business of giving clients and their families a better life. They like to call it keeping promises. Make sure you give Chris and the team at Fountain Financial Associates a call, 910-256-8882. So, Kevin, the first hour of our show today, Wake Up Our Faith, we talked about the dynamic, the difference between hearing and listening. And so we want to unpack that in this segment here about how do we do that in business? What's the difference between hearing and listening? How does it apply in business? And I think it was a great segue with Chad Huneycutt talking about how he was relational with his clients, listening to them. So just a great example there to kind of piggyback off of. Now let's talk about what it looks like.
Yeah, well, that's the personal aspect. I think, one of the things we want to do, and we want to do it selectively and with good timing, but that is to, we stand behind these people and they stand with us, and we want to put a name and a face and a heart, a personality. So it's really good to hear from Chad. Everybody's different, but this is what we do, and so anyway, being able to help people understand, this is not just another company. This is actually a personality in someone's heart and their business and their family, and so there's some dedication there, and a lot of empathetic. I think you have to have that to function in that capacity, whatever your company is or your thing is. But that said, we're talking about business now and kind of that because it's so you can't get away from it. And we're not talking about you have to set up a lemonade stand and talk about God in that, or preaching from your desk at the office. We're talking about the space, the time, the 24-hour period where a lot of it you're sleeping, but a whole lot of it you're actually trading services for commerce, and that is business, however it looks, whether you're working at a computer or going to an office. So in that, we talk about a lot of different principles and ideas and things that are just very simple, but things that people have forgotten, or culture has kind of tidal waved them and overhauled them and shifted people. And people are in a mode of quick bad behavior. So I'll give you a quick, for instance. We were in a place the other day, and a girl said something. Holly had a neat little Beach and Barn T-shirt on. This younger girl says, "I love your shirt." And, Holly was going to say thank you, and a millisecond later respond, "Wow, yeah, thank you. I got it at..." the girl had already walked away. She wasn't listening. She just said that. So why did she say it? And so the point is there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on where people aren't really listening. They're just mailing it in. It's flattery. It's just crap is what it is. So I don't want to beat that girl up, but the point is that's culture. How do we cut through that? We have to get light shed on this stuff. So what is the difference between listening and hearing? We talked about that last segment. So without going all the way back through it, the big difference is, one is hearing, things are just kind of noise. You're not taking it into your heart. Listening is actually focusing entirely, completely, digesting it, taking it in your heart so that you can relate back. It's like saying this person's painting a picture for you, and you just keep turning away from it every time they keep trying to show it to you, and just giving them lip service. So turn around and look at the painting, look at the brush strokes, take it in, understand what is being said there, honor that. You can do that in business. If you do, you're going to thrive.
Yeah, I think the point that's really kind of coming to my heart is that if you want to set yourself apart as a business person, become a fantastic listener, not only to your customers, to those that you engage with, but also to your employees. I am continually infuriated by the number of companies that do not listen to their employees or to their customers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy. There is this corporate culture, and I say that, Kevin, from this place of, we end up getting the phone call from people who are frustrated in their business life, and we hear kind of some of the scenarios and situations that folks are having to deal with, working environments, client relations. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
It's like a kind of crime scene cleanup.
Yeah, right. Come in.
You get the blood and
the manager did it in the bathroom with the pipe.
Oh, that's so yucky. But it's sort of emotional blood and guts. People are up and down, and they get a dose of encouragement, and then they're right back in. And it takes more than that. It takes walking with people and really, really being honest about this stuff and putting it into practice. It's not rule keeping. It's not, checking off principles. It's understanding what Jesus looked like as a man, living it out, the model of son and daughtership. How does that look? And so we plug that in by going, we have to stop, listen, focus, be intentional. And I believe that God is typically, nothing typical about him, but typically he is slow and deep. And he makes a lot of investment. There's a whole lot of measuring 15 times and cutting once. And that's what I've learned to do after being a guy who would measure halfway and cut the crap out of it and say, well, I can make more or I can do more. It's just, I spent 20 years in business in a variety of things, and I had a lot of success, but then it was all gone. And I said, no more, never again. And then I just kind of started hanging out with God, really listening. And it's been a slow process. Here we are a decade later, and now this thing is happening because he's doing it. So that's a difference. That's just my own example. But learning how to listen is really making an investment in that person. Are you willing to do that, or are you just after, some kind of moment?
Transaction.
Yeah, transaction. And, there's times where you go to the hamburger stand, you're going to give money and they give you a hamburger. Well, that's not the same thing.
Yeah. But
if they don't listen to what you're ordering, and you see that a lot, you're going to get some mayonnaise on that burger, which I hate, by the way. So, and you get frustrated. So we're trying to avoid all that by very first step in your day, in business, is pay close attention to people. Understand, calm down. The world's not going to end. Listen. Take it into your heart.
Well, as believers, I think this is one of the most overlooked opportunities that exists right in front of our face. Because if you're a Christian in the workplace, you are automatically around people. You're dealing with coworkers, you're dealing with customers, you're in traffic, you're getting lunch or whatever. And if you're refusing to slow down long enough to listen to what's going on around you, you are missing dynamic opportunities to be an impact point or a contact point for that person and the Lord.
That's right. That's right. It's the mission field beneath your feet.
Yes.
It's right there. And it's spiritual poverty that you're after. So eradicating that. So, for instance, you don't have to, get cynical people. Oh, I don't have time for all that. Okay, that's fine. But you do, when you think 1,000 years from now, what will have mattered? It's just, kind of checking the thing off and getting your paycheck so you can do whatever. Or how do you treat that person? If you are a believer, what really matters? So you can't just blow that off. If you do, then, wow, there you go with the accidental hypocrisy again, maybe even intentional. So one little example is to simply say something to somebody, ask them a question about them, and then listen to their answer. And then when they give you the answer, ask them some more and really go there. Block off everything in your mind. Feel that. They start telling you about their kiddo. Take a minute and really genuinely, and you will learn so much. You'll gain a lot of wisdom from that. And that's just one little thing, and it'll bless the heck out of somebody.
Well, also, too, you'll build a relationship there because the person sees beyond the facade of a world that's busy with their face buried in their phone, and they care.
Right. That's right.
They care. And that is where we are dynamically dropping the ball as a Christian brothers and sisters in the world today, is by not pausing to become a contact point for everybody to get a better picture of Jesus.
That's right. That's right. We have to listen. We have to take it in. We have to relate. We have to empathize. That's Jesus.
Yeah.
And we all do it differently, but we all have that responsibility.
Yeah. And we got to do it in business. Guys, you're listening to Faith in Business. Matt Ham and Kevin Adams back for our last segment right after this. Hello and welcome to Faith in Business, the second hour of our show, Wake Up Our Faith. If you're listening to the podcast, this is Faith in Business on iTunes as well as Spotify. We are all about helping you bridge that gap between Sundays and resolving the tension between your faith and your business. This is about taking all the good stuff out of Sunday and all the good stuff out of personal development, mixing it up in a pot and putting it out there in a practical way. Just about being excellent in the workplace. Kevin, we're having a great conversation today just about listening and the opportunity we have as believers in our workplace to listen to our coworkers, our clients. I mean, you want to set yourself apart. Listen. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent, getting excited. Before we continue, I want to recognize our corporate partners for making the show possible. One of those being Century 21 Swalyer and Associates, more than 30 years in the real estate business. The market right now is crazy. If you're buying or selling, make sure to give Century 21 Swalyer and Associates a call, 910-256-0021. So Kev, kind of wrapping up the segment here, we had just before we went to break, talking about believers listening to people around them and providing an opportunity for a contact point. You made a great point. Ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's you don't want to mail that in either. I mean, it's real easy to sort of go through the motions.
How you doing?
Yeah, and that's I don't want to beat up the millennial crowd or whatever, but there's a lot of that, and it just makes you feel like why try? It's depressing when someone says something like, that's awesome, and then walks away before you can even go thank you. Like, why did you say that? So you've got the do it all generation, which we kind of grew up in, and then you've got the you're amazing, no you're amazing, no you're amazing generation, and it's just meaningless. It's all flattery. So in between you find the truth, and that's where when you really listen to somebody, what you're doing is you're digesting what they're saying. You're turning your focus to them. You're giving them that honor, you're applying context. You're allowing your heart to feel what they're saying, so you can relate, empathize. One of the best ways of communicating, even if you have to interrupt somebody, is to say, wait a second, tell me more about that thing. Slow down, give me a second on that one. I want to know more. And people are okay with that. In fact, I think it's honoring, because you're telling them, hey, wait, you're going so fast. I want to know more. Slow down and tell me more about you and your experience. And what happens, what I've learned is I gain a lot of wisdom and relationships from just listening. And you can really help people that way. And you can't if you sort of halfway got an opinion about them, and you walk away and you don't really understand what's going on with that person. So asking questions was the idea. That forces you to slow down and really focus on that person. So long as it's genuine and you're not asking it and walking away before they can answer.
Yes, what I was saying.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting we're on the radio sometimes, because I know we got the video too.
Right.
It's like I asked you how you're doing, I look out the window, or it's
it's all right.
How are you doing? And you glance at your phone or whatever. Like, that's kind of this half-hearted. Just
it's debilitating if you're on the other side. You're like, gee, why did you ask me that?
Why do you even bother?
Yeah.
It's so funny because we see this like portrayed in movie and in television, and it hits us.
Yeah.
Because we feel it.
Right.
I mean, my son is watching this show. It was called Wonder, I think, and it's about a kid that's born, and he has some deficiencies or whatnot, and he's just being bullied at school.
Yeah.
And my son is so struck by this because he's actually at an age where he gets this, and he sees it in his own school. And yet I have to remind him, I'm saying, like, now listen, you have to focus to not become that guy. You know, you've got to pay attention. You've got to get beyond this. So we do these things, they become, as we say, kind of rote habit.
Yeah.
We don't know we do them, but man, we got to take a charge of it.
Yeah, we do. And so along those lines, we were talking about your son earlier, playing baseball and hearing the voices of the crowd, hey, bada, and they gotta hurry up, whatever they're throwing out there, to the coach or to the kids, or, that is probably not something you want to listen to. And I think that flips it around. And again, we're talking business here, but you can use these examples and then take that right back in, because there's a lot of noise in business, phone calls and distractions. You have to set your path and say, like for Matthew, I'm going to hit the ball. I'm here to hit the ball. That's my only job. It's not to listen to all this stuff. Maybe listens to dad or whoever, but that's it. That's where we have to draw the distinction between listening and hearing, to flip it around. It's okay to hear anything and just let it pass through. It's not okay to take all that stuff in your heart, like even encouragement. Sometimes it's too much. It's overwhelming. So anyway, you got a thought?
Yeah, I'm thinking right now about a salesperson.
Okay.
Who is listening to the pressure that is put on them.
Yeah.
About production, meeting expectations.
Yeah.
Hey, where are you today, Kev? Where are you? Listen, we're not here for your feelings. We're here to produce widgets, and you're behind. You need to get on it.
Yeah, pressure.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're listening to the pressure of a world that's telling them they're not good enough,
right?
And then they're wondering why they're not achieving, because they're listening and it's coming into their heart, and they're actually believing that they're not good enough to do the job that they've been created to do.
That's right.
And so, I was talking to a salesperson. This is what brought it up, and he said that one of his coworkers was literally like crying to him the other day. And the guy was buckling under all this pressure because he was listening to all these voices. And I just want to go grab that guy, give him a hug, and like, you need to tell everybody else to shut up, and you need to start not letting that into your heart and get on with good, man. Yeah.
Well, and it takes practice. So you have to come back to, and that's one of the things we send out these nuggets every morning, and they're just a minute of thought to help you start your day. It doesn't take much time, but it's powerful. And these are the kind of things where you have to start out, we talked about having a gratitude and a joy journal, painting your target, writing down your desires, spending these are investments in in who you are, so that you can be really good for other people. And what better place is there than business to do that? So that sales guy, we used to hear, "Go get in debt," so you'll have the pressure of making money. I mean, it was serious. It wasn't a joke.
Worst advice ever.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Dog.
I mean, sales 101 back in 80s and 90s or whatever. But anyway, yeah, that's not from God.
No.
And I don't care how much it works. Even when I worked at UPS years ago in the 80s, and I got into management, and they had the 2x4 method versus the 3x5 method. One is the 2x4 method is you can just beat them over the head. It's like, yeah, you can beat that thing into submission pretty soon, but you're not. It's got a very short-term benefit. So, being like Jesus, a lot of this is stop, take it in, honor that person, and God will give you back all the time you've spent on it. And that's really what this boils down to. But then you also have the wisdom to not listen to the things that you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Going back to Matthew's playing baseball and having all the voices. You don't need to listen to the dog that's barking behind the fence. You just keep going. Pretty soon the dog will bark, and it won't matter, and you won't notice it, and he'll stop barking. You're going forward. So it's about knowing the difference between listening and hearing, how to apply it properly.
Yeah, and that's a part of maturation. That's a part
Sure.
of growing and learning, and and it goes without saying, man. But like this, Kevin, this is a picture of what we do and what sets us apart as a executive coaching organization.
Mm-hmm.
Is, I mean, this isn't about productivity and quadrant
Right.
one and whatever. Like we're really breaking this down to help people become just better
Right.
human beings and more excellent expressions
Yeah.
of Jesus in what they do every day. And that is the kingdom, and that is what God will get behind, and
Right.
he'll bless.
Yeah. Well, you're God's idea, and it's helping you live that out. And when you do that, you are fulfilled and satisfied with your life, and your life is a huge benefit to others. And that's really the whole thing. Everybody wins with God. Like, it's the only way. So, yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Well, guys, we are wrapping up another fantastic show this week. A great hour here. Just want to encourage you, if you're tuning in, if you're listening, whether it's the podcast, whether it's on the Facebook Live, or whether it's on the radio, we would love to connect with you. That's what we do. We offer a discovery call to kind of get started. You can check out our resources, uprint.life, youprint.life, or you can email us directly, info at uprint.life. Matt Ham, Kevin Adams signing off here. We'll be back next week for more Wake Up Our Faith and Faith in Business. Until then, you guys be well.